Welcome to this video on the time value of money, a concept that is crucial to understand when making financial decisions. In this video, we will explore the basic principles of the time value of money and how it can be applied in real-world scenarios. If you like this content, please remember to hit the like button and subscribe. Let's get started. The time value of money is the idea that money today is worth more than the same amount of money in the future. Receiving money earlier is more valuable than receiving it later because money today can be invested to earn a return, which increases its value over time. Understanding the time value of money is useful because it helps us to understand the relative value of money received or paid at different points in time. Simply using the nominal cash flow amount, without first adjusting for the time value of money, may create poor decisions. For example, if you had a guaranteed interest rate of 10% per annum, which of the following scenarios would you accept? Receiving $100 today, or receiving $130 in 3 years' time. If you focus solely on the nominal cash flows, you may choose $130 in 3 years' time as it is simply a larger sum of money. However, the $100 received today could be invested for 3 years at 10% per annum. At the end of year 1, you would have $110, $100 plus $10 of interest. At the end of year 2, you would have $121, $110 from year 1 plus $11 of interest. At the end of year 3, you would have $133, $121 from year 2 plus $12 of interest. Note how in each year the amount of interest grows. This is because you are earning interest on interest. This concept is known as compounding. As time goes on and compound interest accumulates, the power of compounding can lead to significant growth in the value of an investment. The longer the investment period and the higher the interest rate, the greater the potential for growth through compounding. Anyway, since receiving $100 today allows us to invest for 3 years, we will end up with $133 in 3 years, versus receiving $130 in 3 years' time. Therefore, scenario 1 is optimal as it gives us an additional $3. The two most common concepts when looking at the time value of money are future value and present value. When taking an amount of money today and forecasting its value to a future date, this is called the future value of money. In our example about taking $100 today and investing it for 3 years at 10% gave us $133. This is the future value of $100 at 10% per annum return, compounded for 3 years. When taking an amount of money in the future and figuring out the value of this money today, this is called the present value. Continuing with our example above, if we take the future value of $133 and divide by 1 plus 10% to the power of 3, we get $100. As you can see, future value and present value have an inverse relationship. They are two sides of the same coin. Taking an amount of cash today and compounding it gives us the future value. Discounting a future sum of cash gives us the present value. Both future and present value involve the time value of money and the idea that money received in the future is worth less than the same amount of money received today. They are both important in financial analysis and decision-making, and they are often used together to compare the value of different investment opportunities. You may have noticed that when we are looking at the future value, we use a term compounding. When we are looking at the present value, we use a term discounting. Just like future and present value, the terms compounding and discounting also have an inverse relationship and are two sides of the same coin. Compounding is the process of taking money today and growing it over time. Discounting is the process of taking an estimated amount of money in the future and valuing it in today's dollars. In the examples so far, we have assumed that there is only one cash flow that is either compounded or discounted. What if we have multiple cash flows? For example, if you are trying to calculate the present value of $100 in 1 year's time, $80 in 2 years' time, and $50 in 3 years' time, each cash flow must be first discounted separately and then each added together to give the present value of these cash flows. So to discount these cash flows, you would perform the following steps. 1. Determine the discount rate. This is the interest rate you could earn on a similar investment. In our case, let's assume 10% for ease of calculation. 2. Calculate the present value of each future cash flow. To do this, divide each future cash flow by 1 plus 10% to the power of the number of periods until the cash flow occurs. 3. Sum up the present value of all cash flows. The sum of these represents the total present value of the series of cash flows. The $100 to be received in year 1 would be divided by 1 plus 10% to the power of 1, which has a present value of $90.91. The $80 to be received in year 2 would be divided by 1 plus 10% to the power of 2, which has a present value of $66.12. The $50 to be received in year 3 would be divided by 1 plus 10% to the power of 3, which has a present value of $37.57. The total present value of all expected future cash flows is $194.60. Whilst the nominal amount received is $230. The present value of these cash flows is $194.60. So, you would be willing to pay $194.60 for this investment since it is the equivalent of receiving the future cash flows at the present time. Let's now look at where the time value of money is used in the real world. Time value of money is useful in a variety of financial contexts, such as investment decisions. By understanding the time value of money, investors can compare the value of different investment options and make more informed decisions. For example, if you are trying to decide whether to invest in a company, you can use the time value of money to calculate the present value of the future cash flows that the investment is expected to generate. Capital budgeting. Businesses use the time value of money to evaluate the profitability of long-term projects and to make decisions about which projects to invest in. Retirement planning. By understanding the time value of money, individuals can plan for retirement and make decisions about how much to save and invest in order to have enough money to live on during retirement. Credit and debt. Lenders and borrowers use the time value of money to evaluate the cost of credit and to make decisions about borrowing and lending. The time value of money is a powerful concept that can help you make better financial decisions. By understanding the principles of compound interest and the time value of money tables, you can better evaluate the potential returns of an investment and make more informed decisions. Thank you for watching this video on the time value of money. I hope that you now have a better understanding of this important concept and how it can be applied in real-world scenarios. Remember, when making financial decisions, always consider the time value of money.